So how do we use space to create sound? The way I see it, you can't have one without the other. So space, if you see space like as the space between all the objects we see in our world, if you're walking in the street, we see buildings, we see the street, and between everything, there is space. Without that space, the buildings wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be able to see the buildings. The only way we could see the buildings is because we have this contrast of space and then these buildings, matter, that we see. And it's the same with silence and sound. If there was only sound, we wouldn't be able to hear it. The only way we could hear sound is because there's silence happening underneath it. One can't exist without the other. In the words of Eckhart Tolle, the spiritual guru, he said, if the whole world were blue, we wouldn't be able to see anything. Nothing would exist for us. The only way we could see things are by the contrast. We have blue, we have white, then we could see them. But if there's only blue and everything is blue, you won't see anything, it won't exist for us. It's the same with silence and sound. The sound comes out of the silence and goes back into the silence. And when we play music, sometimes there is silence in the music, meaning that there's no sound, but also underneath the sound, as the sound is happening, there has to be silence there for us to be able to hear that sound, or we wouldn't be able to hear it. So underneath and around every sound, there is silence there. And that silence, of course we can't hear that silence. How can we hear silence? But we can feel that silence. And if you could just, this is just an awareness thing, I think, to be aware of. When you're walking in the street, when you're listening to music, try to feel where that sound is coming out from, and you will feel that silence, and that silence is happening constantly and consistently in every second of every day. It's always there. And that silence is the same as space. And once you're able to feel that silence, what happens, so you're feeling that silence outside of you, on the inside, a silence happens and a space opens up inside of you. And this is what brings you into the present moment. And everything else drops away. All your thoughts, all your stresses, everything. And all you'll hear is what you'll feel is the silence, and you'll hear the sounds coming out of that silence. And this is an amazing place to be when you're playing music. And this is what I strive to do when I'm playing drums by myself, either by myself or with a band, or playing along in a recording with music, is to feel that silence. And what happens is it takes me really into the sound, and that's all that's happening. Everything else drops away, and it allows me to really be in the present moment, giving my full intensity and reaction to the music. So I just invite you to be aware of this and to try it out. And I try to do it as much as I can, but of course the mind always comes in and takes us out of it. But just try, even for a few seconds, if you could do that in the music. And the more that you are aware of it, the more that you do it, the deeper in you get. And this is a really deep place for you to feel the music, to feel the groove, and to express all your ideas and your feel and your intensity in that present moment. It's the difference between a drummer just playing on autopilot and a drummer who feels every note. And you could see the difference when you see a drummer playing like this. You feel it because it drags you in and it brings you into that space. So I just invite you guys, I just wanted to talk about my process and how I try to play in the present moment and express my full intensity in the music. And all it takes is just one time for you to feel this silence and space, one time, and it'll be there for you always. And it doesn't mean that you're always going to be in that space, because the thoughts come in and take you away. But once you become aware of it, it'll happen more and more often, and it will allow you to go deeper into the music, have a lot more fun, enjoy playing, and just expressing what's inside of you in that moment. Creativity, everything comes out of that. So I hope you guys got something out of this, even though it's not something concrete to practice, but it's just something to be aware of that I think will really help, that has really helped me so much. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.